Hello there, it's Marsha Jones, and we are back with another Next Level NP podcast and video. So I hope that you have been enjoying these and that I'm bringing you some information that is useful to you in your practice, because that is the goal. As I've told you, I'm functional medicine certified. I do focus on hormone management, and that hormone management, the goal is to give women their life back and to prevent cancer. So I hope to give you information that is also going to help you to help others. That is the intent of this podcast. I plan to continue to do things that are new and different, not just bringing you the information. I don't want to just, babble to you because that gets boring. I want to start bringing in some guests, maybe some interviews for you, some patient case studies, patient stories. So all types of things that I have in the works for you. And this is, of course, the Next Level NP, and you can find it at marshajonesnp.com. And I hate to bring in all that stuff in the beginning because I have so much information to bring you, but I just want to make sure I don't forget to tell you there are so many resources that are available to you. The marshajonesnp.com website is being updated often because things are in the works. I get excited. I have ADD. I've told you that many times. And I want to bring everything to everyone at once, but I know that I can't because it's too much information to absorb. Because I am trying to educate my patients. I'm trying to bring them resources. I'm trying to bring you resources. And I want you to have resources to provide your patients. So even if hormone management isn't something that you're interested in, which, Lordy, I hope you are interested in, or at least dive a little bit more into understanding some of the hormone management. I want you to know where you can refer your patients for resources so that they can get accurate information. So I do have a section in that marshajonesnp.com that is resources for patients trying to find balance. I talk about supplements, I talk about nutrition, I talk about activity, some of the hormones, and just try to give some real information to people that they can trust. So my mission with marshajonesnp.com, when I have recently rebranded, or just Marsha Jones NP, which is a lot of stuff that's probably sounding like babble to you, but you have to brand yourself in business, and that's another topic we're going to get into in the future, is because I want to help you if you're interested in doing hormone management, because you will be doing the world a huge service, and especially if we're focusing on women, which is my focus. You're going to give so much back to so many people that I want you to understand how to brand yourself. And I work with nurse practitioners to do that and to get your practice up and running. And I give you marketing materials, and there's just so much to it. But that's not today's topic. If you're interested, marshajonesnp.com, that's where you get to go for all that information. But what we're going to talk about today is hormones in general. Some of the fear and misconceptions that go around hormone management, because it is quite a controversial topic, especially when we start talking about estrogen. But that is only because there's a lack of knowledge, which is what is partly behind my mission of bringing real information to people and being a go-to resource for not just patients, but nurse practitioners. Because if you don't understand, you're going to be fearful, and you're maybe going to hold back on providing something to a patient that could literally save their lives. Whether emotionally, whether physically, through their cancer treatments, whatever it is. There's so many things that we do for people that we don't even realize. And that's part of what the stories that I want to share. Stories of people that have come back to me years and years later that I didn't know that I had had an impact. And this was way before I'd gotten into hormone therapy. This is just some of the things that we had done that I didn't realize I was doing functional medicine at the time. And now that I can look back with my 20 years plus of experience and go, wow, I've been doing this the whole time and didn't even realize it. And now that I've realized it, I'm able to package that all together and put it out there in a much more structured fashion to help. So if someone that you're talking to is feeling bad and they're pretty sure it's their hormones, you're pretty sure that it's their hormones, but both of you might be on the fence about the things that you read, the controversy, is it going to be beneficial? Is it going to be a risk? There's genetics, there's things like Google and friends. Everybody's giving you something, in one ear or the other. Everybody's had a good experience. Everyone's had a bad experience. And unfortunately, most of the time we only hear about the bad ones. No one wants to talk about all their good stuff and their good vibes and how they feel and what something has done for them. And then also there's some times when things aren't done ethically, and no one's going to tell you that part of the story. They're not going to tell you the whole story about, why something didn't go well. I want to give you the whole story, and that's why I want you to keep listening to this podcast or watching me if you're watching on YouTube. Or on the website, wherever it is. But I want to give you the information that's going to help you to feel comfortable with managing hormones, because there's so many things that we can do even before we even go down that road of an actual hormone replacement therapy. So remember, hormone management doesn't always mean hormone replacement. There's lots and lots of things that go into hormones. So if someone is concerned about actual hormone replacement, and they're perimenopausal, or even if they're, in their early 30s and they're not perimenopausal yet, but they've got all those other things going on, the PMS, the PMDD, PCOS, they're trying to get pregnant and they can't, and there's infertility, and they need hormone management, hormone balance, you have to be able to offer them many different options. And I would prefer for you to look at the other options before you start thinking about hormone replacement, because that should be the last resort. Because if you replace hormones too soon, or if you don't have things in check before you start replacing hormones, as in, excretion and elimination and, detoxification, some other things that we need to work on for proper hormone balance, you're going to put that patient at more harm's risk than you are benefit. And you don't want that, trust me. So I understand when you start thinking about hormone therapy that you would go, oh, I can't do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to risk my license, or I don't feel comfortable with it. You can get very comfortable, and there's many things that you can do without the actual hormone replacement. And even if someone is getting hormone replacement somewhere else, you can still implement some of the other things that help to balance hormones that are going to protect them and save them instead of increasing their risk for harm. That would also make you a little bit more comfortable in, talking with your patient about hormones, because they're looking to you, they trust you. We're headed into a whole new era of healthcare. There is an increased risk of so many different cancers that are hormone related, and education isn't keeping up with that, unfortunately. We weren't trained on these things. I've told you, I've went through multiple trainings, and then I've had to still do my own analysis in my practice and looking at my patients and figuring things out and how to manage this in the right way that brings everyone balance and protects everyone all around. You don't want your patient to end up with cancer because their estrogen went down the wrong pathway. You don't want to be at liability because you gave hormone therapy because you went to a course that said this is how you do hormone management and this is how you dose hormones. There's more to it than dosing hormones. And I don't want to get on that soapbox because like I said, I've always got things to tell you and talk about. I do have the course that's coming up that's going to be launched on November 19th. I hope you've had a chance to watch the webinar on that. If not, check the link. So I'm going to put the link into that again. But you don't just replace hormones. You've got to treat the whole person. And that's what functional medicine is. And that's what we do best as nurse practitioners, as we talk to our patients. We treat the whole person. We listen to what they have to say. We look for all of the things that are out of balance, whether it's their hormone or their life or some other part of their health. But when you start to balance hormones, you are balancing multiple aspects of health, whether you realize it or not. So when I say let's not just even talk about hormone replacement of things like estrogen or testosterone, if you're not comfortable with that, let's talk about things like insulin and cortisol. Insulin increases your risk of a hormone-related cancer because insulin is a growth hormone. It can promote tumor growth. Insulin is an inflammation. Insulin increases weight. If you're obese, you are going to produce more hormone, as in estrogen. And that's going to increase the estrogens that are fluctuating in your body. And if you have constipation and you can't eliminate those extra estrogens, then there you are in a pickle because you've got too much estrogen. Too much estrogen is going to the breast tissue most often and increasing your risk of breast cancer. Breast cancer is the #1 type of hormone-related cancer in women right now. So we don't want to set people up for all of these things that are going to increase their risk for cancer. We want to look at the big picture when we're talking hormone management, and not just think about estrogen and testosterone and progesterone. We want to think insulin, cortisol. We want to think about obesity. We want to think about xenoestrogens. We want to think that cancer is a metabolic disease. Cancer isn't just a hormone-related disorder. Cancer is a metabolic disease. Remember, I gave you that definition. And if you watch that webinar about the hormones of cancer for nurse practitioners, I talk about that. There's so many factors involved. Even if you are just doing weight loss for your patient, you are helping them. If you're managing hyperinsulinemia, you are managing hormone-related cancers. You're playing your role, but you have to understand how all of those pieces connect so that you know what you're doing for your patient and you know how you're helping them. And you can feel like that hero. So if we are balancing things like weight, and I've talked to, I hate to interject it, but not just giving them a weight loss shot or a weight loss pill. I'm talking true management where they provide their body with nutrition. And as you're balancing hormones and as you're explaining to patients, what you're doing and why you're doing it, how to get more protein in their life, how to, decrease those estrogens that are coming in from the outside, how to make them lose weight without a prescription medication, you are giving them their world back. They don't even realize it. You don't even realize it, actually. Most of the time, unless you're starting to put these pieces together and you're listening to some of the information that I'm putting out there and reading some of the stuff I'm putting out there, or from other resources, you are making a difference in decreasing the risk of hormone-related cancer just by managing diabetes and weight, and by managing mitochondrial health, by giving them the nutrition they need, those cofactors that makes that wonderful Krebs cycle do its thing that I bet you never wanted to hear that word again. You are making a difference. So I don't want you to think that your role in cancer and hormone-related cancers is only about cancer and hormones. You're doing a lot from a lot of different angles. And I want to empower you to keep learning more to understand your role in this so that you can help your patients to understand your role in this. Because estrogen metabolism is that key factor. Whether you're trying to get rid of estrogens, you're trying to get the estrogens to go down the right pathway, so many different pieces involved. But every little thing that you do, if you're aware of your intent while you're doing it, is making a huge impact. So you can make an impact whether you're in your primary care office, you can do whether you want to go out there and you want to do your own hormone management clinic, and not just hormone replacement therapy, but a true hormone management clinic. And you're looking at labs from not just a traditional, but a functional perspective. You're looking beyond just those standard labs, and you're looking into the metabolites, and you're looking into the nutritional deficiencies that play a role in these things. This is the big picture. So when your patient says to you, I'm not sure that I'm ready to do hormone replacement therapy because my grandmother had breast cancer, or I've heard that hormones can cause breast cancer, but at the same time, they're so desperate for energy and health, and they want to lose that weight that's starting to gather around their midsection because of hormone imbalance. These are the women that are desperate for you and need your answers and need your help. And by educating yourself, you are helping them. So please, I do hope that you continue to listen to this podcast and that you share it with your fellow NPs, and that you talk about these things that you're hearing and you look for these resources. Send your patients to marshajonesmp.com. If it's something you want to do on your own and you want to find a way, I can help you do that too. Just shoot me a message. Let's talk. You can message me on Facebook through the Messenger or through Instagram. I have all those things. I'm not hard to find. But just know that your role is so important in helping people to identify things like toxins that are increasing estrogen. It isn't just about managing diabetes. It's managing insulin levels. It's managing weight. Why do you think that we're so obese right now? That's a whole different topic of another section, but there's so many factors to this, and this is just the beginning of my, revamping of this podcast and what I want to bring to you and my focus in hormone management, the tip of the iceberg. Please keep watching. Please keep listening. Please subscribe. Please share this. And I hate to keep babbling on that, but I don't know if I've put across there enough the dire need we are in for nurse practitioners right now that understand these concepts and want to make a difference. I want to help change the whole face of healthcare right now, because traditional healthcare isn't where it's at. You know, our medications, some of them block our good pathways. You block the estrogen pathways and increase our risk of cancers. You know, we're not taught these things. We have to look at the big picture. And I'm not saying don't treat patients. This is why I like an integrative approach. It's functional medicine and traditional medicine. And we have to look at the big picture. And we have to know what we're doing for our patients for the best of their health. That is so important, is to look at the whole picture and the best of their health. I think I've kind of brought that one home a little bit. Treating from all perspectives. And like I said, I do have the course coming out. It's going to be launched. It's the big one. November the 19th. It's 12 weeks of, you know, I'm going to put out every week new content for you. There's lots and lots of information and handouts and how to interpret the labs and how to look at that big picture. And there's so much. That's why I'm doing it in weekly segments, so that you can absorb the information. When you get into that course, you also will be put into, I shouldn't say put into, you'll have access to a community for everyone who is in that course, so that we can talk about these things, that you can message me directly. Because it's going to be, it's not like a live course, but it is, you know, interactive, as in I'm going to give you the information and then you have access to me to ask questions, because it's a learning process. This is not a process of just, you know, here's your information, you're going to watch this course and then you're going to forget about it and, you know, be like, well, that was too complicated, I don't know how to put it into action. That's not the way I work. I want to give you support because, like I said, we're on a new era of healthcare and we're here to make a difference. We're on the front line. No matter what specialty you're in, no matter what you want to do with your practice, there's a huge need for people who understand hormonal health and for the prevention of cancer. It's also for moods. And again, I'm going to stop because, you know, I get on a tangent. But if you register this week for that course, it is $500 off. That is not going to ever be again, that I know in the near future, because there's so much information packed into this. This is 3 full months of education. This is a crash course. This is a new certification for you in hormone management. And then you get my support through that community group that's attached to it, where you get to ask me questions and clarify the information that you're learning in your course. And like I said, on the podcast here, we're going to continue, like I'm going to be giving you patient cases and, you know, some stories of things that I have went through with patients with their cancer journey, help you to be able to talk to your patients, the labs, how to interpret some of those labs, lots and lots of things to come. So please like and subscribe wherever it is that you watch or listen, and share this. I've said that 100 times. I know. I hope it's not getting too annoying, but I'm so passionate about this, and I want more of you to join me in this journey to help women balance their hormones so that they feel better and so that they can live a healthier life. So that is it for me today. Check out MarshaJonesMP.com. Start to think about hormone management. If you haven't already, there is a female hormone panel PDF file that I have made available for you. I will put it in the show notes, so please go to MarshaJonesMP.com and find those notes. There'll be, I think you can access them on this podcast thing too. I'm still learning all the technology of this stuff. I just like to talk, and I figure the rest of it out as I go. Sign up for our Next Level NP podcast newsletter also, so that you will get the emails regarding these podcasts, and that I definitely know the links are in there because I put them in there myself, to this female hormone management female hormone panel, lab panel that you can do, even if you're not going to go into the functional medicine type extra special labs. If you just want to know what you can do in your practice to start to identify an imbalance, this is a nice guide for that I've put together. So, you know, it can start to make you to look at things from a little bit of a different perspective. Start to, do that thought process and putting together the pieces of estrogen, testosterone, cortisol, insulin, thyroid hormones. These are all hormones. These are all hormones, and they all make a difference. We have to take care of adrenal hormones, thyroid hormones, before we even start to think about those sex hormones. So remember that also. It's a circle. It's a circle of life. Everything is connected in our body for a reason. And I'm hoping to bring you lots that's going to help you and help your patients. So I'm going to stop babbling now. You guys have a fabulous day wherever you are, and I will talk to you again very soon.